use. So oftentimes, you're standing. Oftentimes when you start here, like up one step, there's no real engagement here. But in order for him to do anything correctly, his feet have to be correct. My feet are the closest things to reach him. Got it? In order to disrupt his foot pattern, I can't allow him to step in ways that are going to enable him to be able to advance. When I can disrupt his foot pattern, I have to watch which leg he leads with, because typically guys that pass to the left, they lead with the right leg, and most everybody passes to their left and leads with their right leg. Because if you lead with your left leg, the tendency is going to be to pass to their right, to my left. Okay, so you have to recognize. So as he's, yeah, and I can block it, because what happens is he can't move that foot. He's got to either move it back, okay, and then he'll reset here, and then you have this right here. Okay. So as he's walking around, he gets closer, and now I can begin to get my grips and begin to go into an open guard. Notice how he was so driven to go forward, because the focus becomes on the foot placement. And that way you can get them to get closer to where you can get grips. Because if I'm here and I try to grab, he'll posture up. You know, and even here, I'm already in an open guard right here, okay? But the point is that for me, ideally, I want to maybe grab a collar, but he can posture up and back up, okay? He can posture up and back up. If I'm not doing anything here, if I'm just sitting rotating, he can step and he's more dynamic, and then I gotta go in all these different kind of guard recomposition movements where I can begin to disrupt. Because let's say if he wants to, let's say, walk laterally. Look at his feet. Right. So I want to constantly disrupt his foot movement to make it at least difficult for him to even stand, okay? Because what happens here is that my objective is to create connectivity and to get my grips. So as we go slow, here, and now I can begin to go into my daily heel guard right here. And it's a lot more effective for me to be able to slowly engage with him on my terms than to let him literally run circles around. Because if you're here, and it goes laterally. I mean, you know, he's moving. And obviously I can grab here, but the thing is that he's somewhat ahead of me, and I don't want him to be ahead of me. Okay. So this is where X guard entries become very important. But in order to disrupt the foot pattern, you have to look slowly which way they're moving. So if he's moving this way here, I try to prevent him from first stepping forward with my feet. Here I'm already in an open guard with 4 points of contact. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. But what I want to do, two things. I want to block his lead foot, so take a step back. So if he leads with his right foot, I want to kind of block it right there. Because if I keep connection here, okay, typically he'll have to step back. Go here, okay? He'll step back. Sometimes if I can get inside here, begin to push and just dump them over. Sometimes you can just get back up, but oftentimes they spring back up. So I watch which foot and I block. Because sometimes, yeah, so if he goes here, I kind of switch here. Because sometimes what happens is that if he decides to kind of step over this leg here, you can trip him that way, and you can just keep that foot moving. So we're here and he steps with the right foot, and I block it here. Yeah, and he yeah. So you can sweep it out. Yeah.
Do you prefer right foot to right foot, left foot to left foot?
Yeah, because if he steps with his right and I go this way, all he has to do is step with the left Yeah, and he gets around you.
I got you.
You see, it's almost like a inadvertent arm drag, leg drag. But here, he's not going to step to his right. You see, if he does, his feet cross over. If he steps to the right, and that's really bad for him.
Like that.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, he's definitely not gonna do that because you never want to cross your feet over. You know, that's why you shuffle. So when he steps forward at the right, I keep that pressure. Because what happens is that it's gonna cause him to step back. And then you can begin to scoot in and you begin to engage on your terms. Because now he becomes on the offensive. And he can't set his feet properly in order to adequately begin to enter into any form of a guard pass. And you look at how they're walking. So if you're here, okay, so even if he steps through here, I can begin to enter here, and then I can begin to move here, enter into X guards here, and begin to tag in all kinds of stuff. But the whole thing is that while he's standing, the most effective guards are more so X guards, more so anything that doesn't consist of me having to use his hips for connectivity, because it's too easy for him to remove my feet off the hips. I mean, look at how hard that is. It's easy for him to remove it, even with 4 points of contact. That's why here, I need a hook of some kind here for De La Riva. So even if he removes that right foot of mine and steps over, I can begin to elevate him this way here, and I can come back. He'll reset here, you know, here, here, and constantly keep elevating him. He resets, and constantly keep working. Reset 4 points of contact here, here, crystal, this one here. And constantly trying to get to a position where he's compromised. So he's not really passive per se. So a couple things. You're gonna start off with the right foot, forward, and you're just gonna connect. They step back, you scoot in, feet, hips, 1, 2, 3. And then you have daily here or here. This is a very good one here because now I attach his shin to my leg. As he tries to step back with his right foot, there he drives me. And I can begin to kind of go in here and then get the X guard here. And from here, we have a lot of stuff we can do here. Got that hand on the mat there. Postures back up. Walking this way here. Pass and so forth. But most important is you control that lead leg. So one more time. You're going to block the lead leg. Here. Here. See that? Lead leg. Lead leg. Lead leg here. And you're kind of looking to see whether or not you can do that Marcelo Garcia type, I forgot what it's called. Where you go here, he kind of steps back, and you go right in there, and in there. And as you're spreading your feet, you push right at the patella. And you keep spreading your legs out that way so they can back step out. And it's a quick push. So that's kind of what you're looking for. Here. If you can spring your feet, you can, but it disrupts his guard passing. And then when they come back in, they're going to be a lot more cautious. So that now, we're going to be here. That's all just kind of a more dynamic thing. So just to show up the foot pattern for now, and just play with that. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Can you circle patterns?